Hi everybody, this is Celtic Manga, and we're getting into our first tutorial of 2023. Heck yeah, we made it! So today we're going to learn to draw the head from more interesting angles than what we have learned so far. These are called dynamic angles. This video is part of a series, so if you haven't seen my first few videos on drawing the head, definitely check those out. I have a playlist for them right on my channel. Anyways, let's jump right in, and of course, feel free to draw along and pause the video as needed. First, let's go over some key concepts. We need to learn about how the head is actually structured and how we can rotate a basic shape in order to draw the head. So what we've got here in this drawing, I've drawn a sphere from various angles. The sphere is going to look the same, this one, and this one. But it's not enough to just draw a sphere in order to draw a head. You also have to cut the sides off. If you can imagine this sphere shape as like a block of cheese, you're just taking a knife and cutting the sides off right here so that these parts are flat. And of course, you're rotating an object in 3D space, so it's going to be different depending on the angle that you view it from. Whether it's like this one right here, where it's just facing the front, or whether it's 3/4 angle like this, or a side profile like this. Dynamic angles, we have to rotate this shape even more, but as long as you can draw this shape from any angle, it's really going to help you draw the human head, because this really is like the bread and butter, the basics of how to do it. And this is just step one, is just getting this shape down. And then step two is once you get the shape down like this, you're going to apply something on top of it called the mask. And the mask isn't even the full structure of the face. It's just like a planar simplification, a complete simplification of the face. And it's really going to solidify that shape. And then once we have the mask, then we start putting on the features and everything. So anyway, yeah, let's dig in. Let's get started. Let's draw some dynamic angles. I'm going to pull up a reference photo just so I know what I'm doing. Always use references when you're drawing. Anybody that tells you not to use references doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay, so first we're going to draw a head where the eyes are kind of like this, like along a circle, and it's facing this way, and we're looking at the top of the head from above, just so y'all can kind of get an idea. So we're going to do that over here. Going to draw a circle as best as I can. You know, I do have a circle tool in this, but if I do use the circle tool, y'all are going to be like, oh no, digital art is cheating. And it's like, no. um, I'll just draw the circle so I can struggle with you traditional artists as well, because you know, if you don't have your traditional art down, your digital art's going to suffer. Yeah, I think it's really necessary to learn both, but also like feel free to disagree with me. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to say too. Like, if there's any bit of advice that I give, I noticed there are some comments that really, like, extremely disagree with me, and people have said, actually, this method works better for me. You know what? Feel free to just ignore my advice. I say this all the time. Like, if I give you advice and it doesn't work for you, and then you do the opposite and it works for you, then just do that instead. Because, you know, we're all different. You know what I mean? We're all just different. And so what that means is like, you know, if you learn a different way and you find a different method that works for you, that's totally fine. Also, circles are really hard to draw. Like you'll notice I can't just draw like a perfect circle. I can almost try, but it's really hard. So I have to sketch it out. I have to sum it out. I have to modify it. I have to change it. These things take time, man. And that is okay. But I do prefer to do them by hand instead of using a circle shape. That way it gives it kind of a more natural feel. I'll even flip the canvas just to get the circle shape exactly right as I want it. My goodness. We're just freezing today. Let me collapse this menu too, that way we've got more space, more real estate to work with. Okay. So there we go. You know what? We're going to draw 3 heads in this video today, so yeah, it's going to be a while. So this is the dynamic angle that we're going to draw. We're first going to draw the contour lines around like this. And, it would go around like that. And I'm imagining that the flat side of the head that you would chop off would look like this. Kind of like that. Oh, yes. Just like this. Perfect. Remember, nothing is set in stone. Be loose. Feel free to erase. Erasing is the key. And then, this line's going to go flat across. Line's going to come down a little bit. Going to do this. And then, the hairline's going to be something like that. Bottom line is going to be barely visible, but the key thing is this is the brow line. These are the eyebrows, okay? I can't write today. Oh my goodness. Brow line. Don't you forget it. It's not where the eyes are, it's where the eyebrows are. Common misconception. And then we're actually going to go even further. We're going to go even further down than this. We're going to start by drawing a line that kind of curves up the head like this, just so we can get the curvature just right. I always like to draw a line like this too, like a contour line that connects to this corner right here. And it's just going to give us an even better summation of where everything starts and ends. And this line is actually going to curve downwards and inwards. And then in order to get the mask, we're just going to bring it all together. There's going to be a contour line about here and about here as well to mark the endpoint of the nose and the chin. And all of this kind of comes together. All of this kind of comes together on its own. This line I'm drawing right here is starting from the corner of this intersection, and it's going to angle out just a little bit. And then you kind of just have to eyeball this a little bit. There is a mathematical way to do it, but I just prefer to do it intuitively. Then we get that, and you can feel free to like modify this part as well. Make this a little bit thinner and erase as needed. And we've already got the mask. And that's where I'm going to stop today for these. I'm not going to detail or draw in the full face because we just don't have enough time for that. What we're going to do instead is just draw the mask of these and show you all how to get the general shape so that you can put your features and details on. But I will show you at least where the eyes and eyebrows go. Like, the eyebrow would look something like this, and it would even kind of come off this way. The eyebrows would kind of go like that. And then you would have one eye here that's like really close inward towards the nose, like that. And then you would have this eye over here that would have a little bit of distance between this and where the nose is. And then you would have an eye that kind of comes over here like this, just in a kind of a stylistic sense. This could be realistic, this could be manga, whatever you want to interpret it as. It's not perfect, but that's kind of how I would do things. And yeah, oh, this is definitely not perfect. Like this needs so much adjustment, and I'm actually going to adjust this just a little bit. Yeah. My goodness. Erase just a little bit off the top there. Just a little bit more rounded. Again, always remember, it's okay to just erase. Yeah, here we go. So this is like dynamic angle number 1. We're looking at the top of the head, the eyes are here, and the mouth and everything that's going to be like right here. Something is going to be a little bit foreshortened. And another thing to keep in mind is this entire side of the face right here is flat. This entire part that I'm shading, all flat. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna unshade it though, because it just looks better that way. Yeah, that's basically how you do one of the dynamic angles. I'm going to erase parts of this, and we're just going to drag this over so that we can start on another dynamic angle. I guess we could add we could add the neck as well. We'll add the neck and ears, and then and then we'll stop. Something like that. Then you would have an ear that kind of goes like this. Remember with the ears, the top of the ear aligns with the top of the eyebrow or the top of the eyes, depending on your style. But what isn't negotiable is the tip of the nose. Depends on character proportions, but um, yeah, generally that's kind of how it goes. In fact, I'm gonna change the proportions of this just a little bit. Erase that. See if that makes any sense. Not the best. Certainly not my best work, but we're getting there. Maybe give this dude a bit of a thicker neck. But that's one dynamic angle out of many that we're going to do today, and I'm just gonna move this over here, make it a little bigger so y'all can see it. And you know what? We'll just leave it at that. We'll just absolutely leave it at that. Control D, baby. All right. Let me just add whatever I need to on this. And again, yeah, feel free to modify it more, but yeah. So now let's try another angle. We're going to be looking up at the face. We're going to take this face and we're going to tilt it upwards so we're looking up at the chin. This one's going to be kind of difficult, but we'll try it anyways. And you know what? In order to save time, I'm just going to do this. We're going to do this a second time. Instead of drawing out the circle, I'm just going to do that. Whatever. Because this is a tutorial. And in the interest of not making this video like 2 hours long, I think that is necessary. All right, anyways, the contour lines of the eyes are the most important part. So what we're going to do is just kind of, for the contour line of the brow even, the brow is going to be way up here, like way freaking up here. And then as you draw more heads, you begin to kind of see the three-dimensional shapes like this. And you just get way better at recognizing these shapes, seeing them in your head before they're drawn. And this is called the visual library. You'll get way better at this, trust me. And then there will be a second set of lines that come like this. All right, now we're going to approximate where the face is going to be. And again, this is going to be facing upwards. So this is one of the most difficult angles to draw, but we're going to try to do it anyways. And we're just going to get the mask. We're not going to draw the facial features like I said before. Just the mask. The chin is actually like a triangle shape like that. But that's really badly done, so I'm actually going to put in just a little more effort. Give him kind of a chiseled jawline like this. Something like that. Yep. I'm also going to make this video just as unedited as possible so you can see all the steps. And hopefully that helps. Oh yeah, one of you in the comments were actually saying that my commentary style or some of my videos are like boring or something, and I want to know, like, I'm actually willing to take constructive criticism on that. Like, how can I make my videos more entertaining for you guys? Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas whatsoever. Because like I'm not just gonna dismiss a comment like that. Obviously, if I can improve, please let me know. Anyways, let's do some contour lines here, and this is just kind of gonna be how the face is angled. I'm gonna approximate that this little line right here is kind of where the where the chin ends and the neck begins, like this little section right there. And I'll shade it just to add further emphasis on what that really looks like in practice. And then the neck is going to be kind of like this. Something like this, right? Yeah. Oh, oops. Okay. Thin this part out just a bit. And we've got ourselves a head that is facing up. And you know what? It doesn't look too bad when drawn like that. It actually looks pretty good. I'm usually really bad at this angle. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna shade under it, so like you really get the idea. So we'll just do a little bit of a shading under this, and this is the underside of the chin, just like that. Hope that hope that makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay. Whew. Got a little bit of a cough, but that's all right. So yeah, there we go. And let's just go ahead and give it a nice outline too. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, I like to give these a nice outline just to really accentuate the forms. And if I miss it, I just Control Z and try again. That's why I like digital. You can get things right so much quicker doing digital art than you can with traditional. But also like a traditional skill set is really good to have. Um yeah, so that's how you do a head that's kind of facing upwards like that. I'm going to go ahead and put this somewhere over here. We can just resize it later. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time. Just draw a nice circle with our circle tool. Just in the interest of saving time. And this one's going to have a bit of a weird contour, but the front of the face is going to be like right here, like almost invisible. You won't even be able to see the nose. And this part of the head is actually going to be lopped off just like this. In fact, I think that part needs to be bigger, so we're going to do that. Okay. Then erase that part of the circle. You know, sometimes the circle does get a little bit foreshortened. And the mask is like, it's barely going to be there. Like it's from the front. And you know, the jawline is going to be this is a really hard angle to draw from too, but it's worth it. And then their neck is going to come down like this. It's hard, but it's easy at the same time. Like it's can be a bit difficult. And you can even shorten this part if you want, but kind of like that. And then their ear is going to be like just a very softened shape like this. Like it's barely going to be visible, like I said. In fact, I'm going to correct part of this and hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, that's the head from the back. That's the hardest one. That one is super difficult. So that's one of many dynamic angles there. Hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah. Maybe this needs to come down a little further, I don't know. Or maybe this needs to come out further, that's what it is. Yeah, like, you might be able to see their eyelashes, like, right here, but that's it. Their nose is, like, right here, so you can't even see it. In fact, I'm gonna thin out this neck. I'm gonna make their whole chin line just come in like this. Looks more of like a feminine face to me, but who knows? Yeah, you know what? That's pretty good. We're gonna do a head that's almost a side profile, but then we're going to make it we're gonna make it even better than that. All right, canvas flip. Okay, here we go. So as you get better at the Loomis method, it's just going to kind of come to you a little bit more naturally. This one's going to be a side profile that's a little more and you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to do this at the speed that I do it cuz I call this the intuitive Loomis method. This is like what I do. I do this line first, then I get roughly where the side of the face is. I determine the direction of the um that's wrong. Determine the direction of the eyebrows, kind of like that. And I adjust as needed. And I just do something like this. I work very fast, and I actually get better results when I work fast because it just kind of comes to me more naturally. Doing it slow is actually really difficult for me. But this is what I call the intuitive Loomis method. You just kind of do it like really quickly, and you don't draw as many guidelines. And as you get better, you'll have to draw less and less lines to the point where you may eventually reach a point where you can draw from imagination. But I want to stress this too. It's really really important to not worry about drawing from imagination. You need to use reference. Like I am using references for all of these. I just find a picture of a head, like a drawing or something from real life, and I just take the pose of the head and break it down into its simplest form, just like this. And this is exactly how you do that. And then this would be the underside of the chin, and just gonna shade that just to show you where the shadows would fall. And then, the little neck muscle line thing is gonna go like that. And I'm adjusting the jaw here. And yeah, eyes would kind of eyes would go right here. Would be shortened a little bit. Shoot, where would the eyes go on this? Probably something like that with the eyebrows that come around like that. And then this eye would like barely even be visible because the nose would actually be out like this. Yep. There we go. But that's how I do it, y'all. And just to solidify this drawing, I'm gonna finish these out, give them a good outline, and call it dynamic angles. That's how I do it, and that's what I do. So in conclusion, as long as you can draw this shape and tilt it in various ways as I have shown you, that's all you really need to draw dynamic angles. And from there, this is just the beginning. This is called this part of the drawing, this phase is called structure. And if you can do structure like this, then the rest of the drawing comes really easy because these guidelines and these forms, the whole point of them is to see and think in 3D so that you can put your features onto your character and make them look good. And this applies to anime, this applies to manga, this applies to any cartoony art style, this applies to realism. I mean, this applies to so much. It's not just realistic drawing. This applies to everything. And I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense, and I hope I've driven that point home. Alrighty. Well, anyways, y'all, this is Celtic Manga. signing out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you learned something. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave some in the comments. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm Celtic Manga, and I make art tutorials for beginners. Follow me on my other socials, my Twitch livestream, and check out my art on Instagram. If you liked what you see, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. New videos every week. Have a good day!